Hello, everybody. You are not hallucinating. I am not Lucia. I'm Karie Price. I'm going to give a formal introduction here in a minute. I'm just going to wait a few seconds and let folks jump on live for today's guest expert session. Thank you so much, Lucia, for inviting me to chat here in your group today. I am seriously one of your biggest fans. I talk about you all the time. But I'm just going to wait a few seconds here, let folks jump on live if you're around, and then we're going to jump in and get started. I'll introduce myself. We're talking today about the formula for an impactful introduction and why it's important to have one. So if you jump on live, please say hi and introduce yourself. Let me know you're here. Hey, Lucia, so great that you could join me live today. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm going to wait just another couple seconds in case we've got folks around that want to jump on live, and then we will jump in and get started. If you're watching the replay, I'll update the post afterwards, let you know how far you can fast forward. I generally like to wait a minute or so and give folks a chance to jump on live if they're around. So thanks so much, Lucia. I am so excited to be here. Well, you know I'm a super fan, first of all, but your group is one of the best places on the internet. So I hope everybody here appreciates how amazing Lucia is and this group that she's created and all of the fantastic information she provides us to help us get more visible online with video. She has totally changed my business. So I'll wait here just a second, and then like I was saying, we're going to talk about the formula for an impactful introduction today, why that's important. Sometimes called an elevator speech or an I help statement. So we want to get those nice and clear, right? Lucia talks about how important it is to have a really clear I help statement for your videos, whether that's in your YouTube trailer, introducing yourself in all your videos. We're going to help you make that super impactful today. All right. So, all right, before we jump in, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Karie Price. I'm a brand messaging coach, and I help established women business owners find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar. Now, that means creating a message that is relatable, one of a kind, actionable, and reliable, and attracts your ideal client to you. Oh, Lucia, you're blushing. There might be an emoji for that. I can never find that guy, but hey, no, you seriously are a rock star. We are all so lucky to have you in our lives, in our businesses, and in our corner. Okay, well, before we jump in today and walk through the formula, let's talk a little bit about why this is even important, right? Why should you care about having an impactful introduction? Well, your introduction is your first opportunity to start making an impression on the people that you meet, right? The goal of your introduction should be to very clearly identify who you are, what you do, who you serve, and why they should care about that. And you guys, you only have like 7 to 15 seconds before you lose people's attention. So you want to make sure that your introduction is impactful, that you are able to say a lot very succinctly that's going to stick in people's minds. Because the whole goal is to get people to either identify that they are your ideal client. You want them to go, yep, that's me. I have that problem. I think you could help me. Or you want them to be thinking about who they know that might need your help or your services, right? So it's helping your ideal client identify themselves, and it's helping to establish reputation for what you do. So if people come across other people who might be your ideal client, they can refer you, right? So let's talk about that for just a moment, why it's so important and why it's a little hard sometimes to establish and build that reputation. And I'll just tell you, like, that's the way that I define brand. I mean, that's what your brand is. It's your reputation as it's perceived in the mind of the market. And that's the really important piece of that to understand. You know, whatever it is that you want your brand to be, whatever it is you want your reputation to be, ultimately it lives in people's minds. Now, the cool thing about that is you can shape it, and you shape it with every interaction that you have with people. Every time they hear you speak, every time they see your posts, every time they watch your videos, you are reinforcing the message of what you want people to know about you. You're building that reputation, and you want it to stick in their minds. So when we talk about the formula for the introduction today, I'm going to talk a lot about how important it is to try and make that short and concise, because we're all inundated with tons of information, whether it's posts that we're seeing flying across Facebook, people that we're meeting. It takes work to really stick in people's minds. And that is the goal of your brand, right? Is building the reputation. Now, I introduced myself as a brand messaging coach. So what does that even mean? Well, your message is the words that you use to shape your brand. Okay? Marketing is the delivery of your message. So you see how these all start to play together, right? Don't worry too much. You know, people define brand in different ways. It's not about your logos, your fonts, your colors. It's about the reputation you're building, and you shape that. You control that. You implant that in people's brains with the words that you use. Okay? That's what I help people do. And how many of you right now are maybe struggling a little bit with your introduction? And it's probably because you're not clear what to say. You're a little uncomfortable about that and you're not confident. Maybe you've introduced yourself and people are still ask you, what exactly do you do? And that breaks your confidence a little bit, right? So you're hiding out in Facebook groups, or you're introducing yourself, but you're not sharing all of the great information about who you serve and what you do and why they should care about that. So you're leaving an opportunity on the table. And I want to help you shore that up today. Okay? So I am going to walk you through a formula. Now, you don't need to take notes on this. I actually have a cheat sheet for you. The link's in the description. Go to karieprice.com/intro cheat sheet and grab your cheat sheet with this formula. I'm going to walk you through that though and talk about the various pieces to make that truly impactful. Because I don't know about you, I'd rather be really confident in knowing who I am, what I do, who I serve, so I can put myself out there and start attracting people. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Not only are you wanting to attract the right people to you, you want to make sure you're repelling the people that are not your ideal client, right? All of your messaging, all of your marketing, everything that you put out there should be attracting your ideal client and repelling the rest. Don't freak out about that. You are not going to be able to serve everybody, and not everybody is going to be a great client for you to work with. Okay? So get comfortable with the idea that you need to focus so that you can attract more of the people you're going to love to work with, and let everybody else go. Okay? Your introduction is going to help you do that. You are going to download this little cheat sheet right here. It's one page. Guys, this is so easy. The formula itself is pretty straightforward, but it's how you fill it in that's going to matter. So I want to walk you through. It's 5 steps to make this truly impactful. Okay? Step number 1, I'm gonna talk through the steps, and then I'm gonna tell you how it goes together in the formula. Okay? Because really, to have an introduction that's impactful, you've got to get some clarity in your messaging. And if you don't have that already, this is going to help you get started on the key elements of the things that you want to be really clear on so that you can communicate that out into the world. Okay? So the first one is your title. Now, a lot of people, and oh, by the way, no judgments, okay? If I say something and you're like, oop, that's what I do now, it's not wrong, it's not bad, no judgment. I just want to help you make it better and more impactful, okay? So step 1, when you're working on your title, a lot of people feel compelled to want to make that super creative. They think, well, I'm going to, come up with some really fun title, and maybe that'll pique some curiosity, and they'll ask me what that means. Here's the thing about that. You don't want anything that you say to make people do the hard work in figuring it out. You don't want them to go, okay, so what does that mean exactly, right? When you do that, you're putting all the hard work on the recipient of your message. You want to make it as easy and straightforward for them as possible. Hey, Charlotte, so great to see you. So make your title something that's very straightforward and easy to understand. If it's a title especially that people might be searching for. I'm a brand messaging coach. I'll talk just for a minute about how my title actually evolved a little bit. Every word you choose to use has meaning, and it has meaning in people's minds, right? So I actually had my first full service branding agency 14 years ago, and we did all the branding development for you. And so I'm used to having titles like brand strategist, branding consultant, branding and marketing consultant, things like that, right? But I don't do full service done for you branding anymore because I want to help you understand the process so that you can find and own these words for your own message. Because this is a process, it'll evolve over time. And by understanding what it takes to go into your message, the better you can sort of nurture it and fine tune it as your business grows, okay? So I started out as a branding and marketing consultant, and that didn't feel right because people are a little unclear, like, what does that mean, right? What do you do logos? What part of marketing do you work with? So I wanted to make sure there was no confusion. So then I switched my title. This was really mostly internally. I worked through all of this before ever getting my first set of business cards printed. Then it was a brand messaging consultant. I was very clear in my mind that I wanted to focus and help you on your message, on your words. And I'm not a graphic designer. There are plenty of brilliant people on the planet that know how to do that. But there's a real skill and experience and a process to help you own your words. So I knew it was all around brand messaging. But consultant still did not resonate with me. Okay? Because, in business especially, consultants generally, you hire them in to come in and do some work for you. And again, I want to show you how to do that. I want to work with you on how to do that, but I am not going to come in and do it for you. I'll be honest, I had a lot of resistance to choosing the word coach because I didn't want it to feel trendy in any way, right? There's a lot of business coaches, lots of coaches of all kinds. I resisted the idea of that. But the more I really thought about what that word means to me and what I think it means to other people, a coach is a person who knows the game, knows how to help you hone the skills, and the techniques to get really successful, and then makes you better, right? So once I sort of came to terms with that really that's what I help people do, brand messaging coach became a really obvious title. Now, will people search for that? Maybe not, but as soon as they see my title, they get really clear on what it is I do, right? Julie, do I have examples of brand messaging I've helped create? Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit at the end, or I'd be happy to chat with you one-on-one after so that we can stay focused on the introduction. But yes, I've done brand messaging development for clients. I don't do done for you anymore, but I'm happy to share with you information about companies that I've helped. All right, thanks so much for asking, and thank you for being here, Julie. Okay. So you want your title to be very straightforward so you don't leave them guessing. That's the first piece, okay? Step one. Step two is about being really clear about who your ideal client is and the specific problem that they face. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. This makes a lot of people really itchy and uncomfortable. This is where we start to talk about focus and niching. Now, the reason a lot of people get uncomfortable with the idea of focusing in on their business is you immediately get a little fearful that you're leaving money on the table. That if I say I work with this group of people, but I work with them too, right? So all aspects of your business and in your message is a strategic part of your business. It really just reflects everything that you do. You want to get clarity and focus. And here's why. The better that you can understand who your ideal client is and the main problem that you help them with, the easier it is to talk to them and to speak to that. Okay. Now, I will be honest, because there's a lot of people that talk about the ideal client avatar, and there's different, people have different opinions on how to define that. You know, are they a dog or a cat person? What kind of car do they drive? What stores do they shop in? What brand of clothes do they wear? My opinion on that is not as important to understanding them unless it helps you understand their pain or problem. Because ultimately, people want to be taken from whatever pain or problem or issue that they have now, and they want to be transformed out of it. So whatever helps you identify the key pain or problem that they're experiencing is going to be the most impactful and effective way to understand who your ideal client is. Okay? People are motivated by one of two things: avoidance of pain or desire for pleasure. And they actually are more motivated by avoidance of pain. So you want to understand where they are, why they're stuck there, and why they still have a particular problem. Okay? I know that's going to make some people uncomfortable to think about focusing, that you want to help all people in all things. I'm going to talk about that more as we go through the rest of the steps. Okay? So that was step 2. Know the problem, know who your ideal client is, and a specific problem or pain. Oh, here's the other thing. Who's your ideal client? So even if there's a whole bunch of people with the same pain or problem, who is it you're going to get up and love to work with every day? Because I don't know about you, but I did not go into business for myself to get up and be stressed out and hate my job every day like I did with a 9-to-5. So I have control over who I want to work with, and I want to work with people that I'm going to love working with. So get clarity on that. That just helps you again in the way you reach out to people, you speak to people, and who you're going to start attracting. Okay? So focus on your dreamiest ideal clients. All right. Step 3 is get focused. You guys are going to listen to hear a theme here, right? Get focused on what it is you do to help that ideal client with their pain or problem. And I'm going to give you an example. So I work with established women business owners who generally, they're struggling to stand out in their market. That's one of the key pains they have. Now, it manifests itself for them in, like, I don't even know the words to use to describe myself. But if I looked at their general pain or problem, they want to stand out in the market. There's a lot of people that say they can help you stand out in the market, right? Lucia is one of them. She can help you stand out and get visible in your market with video, right? I don't do that, although I use video in my business. Where my focus is, what I think is going to help you stand out in the market is finding and owning the words that are going to position you uniquely in your market. Okay? You don't want to sound like anybody else. You might hear other people talk about getting clear on your message, how to understand your ideal client. Nobody explains it the same way I do, and I don't explain it the same way as everybody else. We're sharing probably similar information. You guys, this isn't necessarily rocket science in terms of, like, this is not secret information that no one's probably ever shared with you. But everyone needs to find their unique way to explain it to attract the people they want to work with, right? Lucia, yeah, you love this. You hated working with some people from your 9-to-5. Building your business gives you a choice of who you're around. Absolutely. Why create a business working with people that's just going to stress you out every day? That's not the point, right? So the more you get clarity on that, the better you attract the people you're going to love to work with. Now, when you're thinking about your focus and how to help them with the problem, again, this makes people uncomfortable. But you've probably heard the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. I want you to be the master. I want you to be known for the expert that you are, because you are uniquely an expert in doing what you do. There might be other people out there who do it. And competition is not a bad thing, you guys. Like, really, that's a mindset thing. Don't think of people as competition. All that says is there's a market for what you do, that people are out there looking for that. You want to carve out your piece of that market so you can own it. Okay, so by focusing, that allows you to stand out as an expert. If I tried to help you stand out in 50 different ways, work on your message, be a video expert, be a sales expert, what am I really known for? Remember, your brand is your reputation as it's perceived in the mind of the market. You want stuff to stick in people's minds. You want to be known for being the expert that you are. I'll share with you, one of the Facebook groups I just recently started engaging in over the last couple weeks, and I've only posted in there maybe 5 or 6 times, but I had somebody just a few days ago comment and I forget even what I was posting about, but they said, "Oh, is this what you mean by that roar thing and helping me stand out?" So they didn't remember everything about my message or my introduction, but what is already starting to stick in their minds? They are already starting to associate specific words with me and what I do. I help you make your message roar, which helps you stand out and be heard in your market. I'd say that's doing a pretty good job after just a few interactions with me, that there's already keywords sticking in their minds. That's what you're after, okay? So when you are looking at focusing how you solve your ideal client's problem, be okay with being a little uncomfortable, even if it makes you uncomfortable, to focus your area of expertise. Even if you can help them with other things, you want to make sure it's really clear, this is the thing I'm an expert in, okay? Your introduction is just a couple sentences long. It does not have to tell every possible thing under the sun you can do. So what is it you want to be known for, okay? And I'm going to put this all together in the formula for you at the end and walk you through how this comes together. Step 4, though. So as great as you are, because you are great at what you do, there is nobody that does it exactly like you. And as wonderful as that is, why do your clients care? Okay, so step 4 is really making sure that you can understand the results, the benefits, and the transformation that you help people achieve. Remember, I said that people are motivated by one of 2 things: avoidance of pain or to pursue pleasure. And the avoidance of pain is a stronger motivator. So they're in a place of pain or have a problem or a struggle right now. They want to know that you can get them out of that, and where are they going to end up? So you want to be able to talk about the results they're going to get, the benefits they're going to get. And when you think about that, here's a way to kind of drive a little bit deeper to get to the stuff they're ultimately going to care about. When you think about, okay, well, I can help you find and own your words, ask yourself, so what? Like, imagine that your ideal client's going, yeah, so what? Why do I care about that? That's going to help you drive deeper and deeper until you get to the stuff that they really care about, right? I help you find and own your words. So what? To help you stand out, be heard, and then later in my intro, I say attract your ideal clients to you. I mean, that's ultimately what it's all about. That is what my ideal client cares about, right? So you need to make sure you understand that. So you've got your title, right? Make that super clear. Don't make them guess. Don't make them ask you what it means. You need to understand your ideal client and their specific pain or problem, and really think about that. They may have, by the way, you may have multiple clients that have different problems, but they probably share an underlying theme. There's probably something underneath there that's common to all of them. You want to tap into that, okay? And then you want to talk about what you do, what's your unique focus to help them solve that problem, and you want it to be clear on why they should care about that. Seems pretty straightforward, right? These are very basic elements that you should have an understanding of for your message in general. Your introduction is just this nice concentrated way to get all of that in there in a very short space. Remember, you've got like 7 to 15 seconds to make an impression. Okay? So now let's talk about how you put that all together and what that looks like when you're working through the formula. Again, in the description, you'll see a link to go grab your free cheat sheet. I know this is backwards. I think that's so weird. I mean, is that because, Lucia, is that because I'm using the front camera, not the back camera, that it's always backwards when you're going live? I think that's so funny. Okay, anyway, so on your cheat sheet, it's going to have the formula here for you. I share mine, and then there's a space for you to fill it in. So let's just talk through it, okay? If you have any questions along the way, please drop them in the comments and let me know. I'm happy to answer those for you. Hi, Laurel. So good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to come run across you here in Lucia's group. Okay, so let me just say a couple things about this formula. There are many formulas out there. I mean, you could Google that. Formula for elevator speech or an impactful or for an introduction or, you know, there's all kinds of them out there. Oh, Lucia, you think it's just Facebook flips it? That's so strange to me. Okay, I'm going to start printing stuff backwards so that it shows up on camera the right way. That might be a trick I'm going to try. Anyway, a lot of formulas on the market. I chose this one to share with you because it packs a lot into a very small space, 1 to 2 sentences. But it's not meant to be a script, okay? Use the formula as your guide for filling in the blanks and working the individual pieces. Practice saying it out loud. You don't have to memorize it, but I will tell you, once you like really get comfortable with your introduction, it just starts rolling off your tongue anytime you need it. And it's so easy. You get so confident in sharing what you do. You don't get that, I don't know what to say and I'm going to say the wrong thing. And wait, what else did I want to say? You get like super confident when you practice it. But, you know, again, it's just a guide. So if you get this all worked out and sometimes you say it all and sometimes you only say part of it, it's still probably better than what you're doing today, even if you only said half of it. And I'll actually share with you, this is the long form of my introduction. I generally use like half of what this is in the formula once you get more confident that your words are really impactful, okay? So here's how the formula breaks down. I'm going to read it to you in the formula format, and then I'm going to go back through it and share with you how I fill in the blanks and you see how it comes together, okay? And again, don't worry about taking notes. Just make sure you grab your cheat sheet, all right? So I am a title who helps ideal client with a specific problem, do something to fix it so that they can have this result. Kind of smashes it all together into one sentence, right? Kind of nicely. Now, you could rearrange it. You could break it into 2 sentences if it gets long, but let me walk you through it one more time and then I'm going to share with you how I fill in the blanks, okay? So I am a title who helps ideal client with a specific problem, do something to fix it so that they can have this result. If you just got all those pieces in there, your introduction is super impactful, okay? Now, the goal is going to be to try and say that in fewer words because some of you, your first pass, even your second pass through it, it's going to be really long, and that's okay. Start with the long form and then work to cut it and get it more and more focused, all right? So here's how my introduction fills in the blanks. So I am a title, brand messaging coach, who helps ideal client with a specific problem, established women business owners who are struggling to stand out in their market, do something to fix it. I help them find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar so that they can have some result after working with me, right? So that you can attract your ideal client to you. So here's mine again, all together in the formula. I am a brand messaging coach who helps established women business owners who are struggling to stand out in their market, find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar so that you can attract your ideal client to you. Now, let me just pause here for a minute and a little asterisk on my introduction. I have in there a unique brand position. Make your message roar. And you heard me at the beginning of the lives explain to you what roar means. It's to be relatable, one of a kind, actionable, and reliable. Sorry, I've got something in my throat now. That takes work to develop a unique brand position like that, okay? Or a positioning statement. Don't feel like you have to have that and to have an impactful introduction. I could pull that out and still have an introduction that is really impactful, okay? I could say, I help you find and own the words to stand out and be heard so that you can attract your ideal client to you. Don't feel the pressure to have to find that unique positioning yet, an entire process. Look, you guys, I do this for a living, and that still took me weeks to find, okay? So there is a process to do that. But if you can put those pieces together, that's packing a lot of information in a really small space, right? So I said, use this formula as your guide. You may rearrange stuff. Practice saying it out loud. That's going to be the key to see if you stumble on stuff. If you're practicing it, and you start talking really fast over something to get to the next section, chances are you can eliminate the thing you just talked really fast over because your brain is telling you this isn't important, to go get to the good stuff, right? So that's just one way to sort of sanity check for yourself if you've got like extra stuff that you can cut out and it's not adding any value. Okay, so you're looking for opportunities to say it in as few words as you can so that it's concentrated. Okay, I don't cook, but I understand this concept of a reduction sauce. So if you've ever watched, Food Network, or you've watched a cooking show, or you're a cook yourself or a chef, you know that you can make sauces, right? You start with a lot of volume and you cook it and you simmer it down and simmer it down. It gets concentrated and concentrated, and then you only need a little bit of it to pack a lot of flavor. The same sort of holds true with your introduction. You might start with a really long introduction, fill in the blanks and let it be long, but you are looking for opportunities to get it shorter and more impactful and concentrated. Now, a couple quick tips for how you can do that. First, look at your total word count when you write it out. You can count it manually if you're using Microsoft Word. I think even Google Docs does it. It'll tell you the total number of words. So challenge yourself to cut the word count in half. So if it takes you 100 words to say it now, can you say it in 50? That's going to freak you out at first. So 2 things to start doing. The first is eliminate any word that does not add value, right? So I shared with you the trick just a minute ago. Practice saying it out loud. If you start going really fast over something, your brain's sort of telling you, like, this isn't important. You're trying to get to the good stuff. Maybe there's words there you can just eliminate altogether. The next thing you want to do is look for alternate versions of words that say the same thing. Then maybe you could replace a whole phrase with a single word. Or maybe you're using a word redundantly a couple times. Here, now, today is like one of those, I got the hair in my throat, hair in my lipstick. Woo. Anyway, so look for opportunities to try and find a more impactful word so that you can say fewer words. Thesaurus.com is my very favorite resource. I use it all the time. You want to make sure that you sound different than everybody else anyways, right? You want a message that's one of a kind. You want words that are going to stick in people's minds that not everybody else is saying. So hit thesaurus.com and put in a couple of your words that, maybe they aren't feeling really powerful for you, and find another word. And just keep working on getting it more concentrated and concentrated. The shorter and sweeter that your introduction can be, the more impactful it is, right? So that long form of my intro, do you know that I usually don't even use all of that? Normally, my intro is as short as, I'm a brand messaging coach who helps established women business owners find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar. And that's it. Because again, your introduction, you want to pack a lot in, but you also just want them to identify like, okay, yep, established women business owner. I get that. You can help me stand out in my market. Okay. I could get that. Like that implies that I'm not standing out, right? So I'm implying the problem, and you help me find and own the words. Okay. She's going to be all about my words, helping me with my words. So be thinking about like, if you can strip stuff out and still be left with the same meaning, you're reducing that, making it more concentrated, making it even more impactful. Okay? All right. That is what is a seemingly simple formula, a great way to get started with your introduction. If you have any other questions, I'll stick around for just a little bit and to answer those. But make sure you grab your cheat sheet. And, if you just want some extra love, support, and help in finding and owning your words and making your message roar, come join me in the Messaging Den. That's my private Facebook group. I'm in there every day. You get opportunities to get feedback from me on your message. I share a lot of training and free information, and I'd love to support you because ultimately, Facebook and the internet is great. It is so much easier for us as small business owners to have an avenue for getting our message out there and for getting recognized. But that means there's a lot of people out there doing it too. And I want you to stand out. I truly want you to be known as the expert that you are, and I want to help you roar. Okay? Lucia, I can't thank you enough for letting me be here today. Again, I'm a super fan. This is one of my favorite places on the internet, is to be here in your group. So thank you so much for the opportunity. You guys, let me know what other questions you have. If you're watching the replay, drop your questions in here. I will be keeping up with them and answering anything I can for you guys. All right? Thank you so much for the likes and hearts. I love doing Facebook Live, you guys. If you're not doing them already, and it's because you're nervous or uncomfortable, oh my gosh, you guys are in the right place. Let Lucia help you with that. It is a game changer in your business, and honestly, it's so much fun. So thank you again, Lucia. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. You're welcome, Lucia. It was truly my pleasure, and I will be around to answer any questions you guys might have, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.